It takes a team, it takes discipline, it takes focus, targets, leadership. The difference is there's no final whistle with MFC.
Words like service, customer-centred, focus, quality, garments. Why we do what we do, why we exist. That's the big one.
Now you're very welcome back to St. Crone's J Club in County Roscommon. We are just awaiting throw-in for the second of today's doubleheader, and that is in the Masters Plate final between Mayo and Roscommon. Both teams are out on the field just finalising their preparations ahead of throw-in. I'm pleased to report that the weather has improved considerably following on from the first game of the day, which was a cracker between Cavan and Sligo in the first game in the Challenge Cup final. Cavan won that by a point, 14 points to 110. There was quite an amount of rain that fell during that match, but thankfully that rain has moved away and the evening has opened up a little bit, so the conditions very favourable indeed for both Mayo and Roscommon. The breeze has fallen in strength as well, so all things set up for what we hope will be another really entertaining match and an advertisement for Masters football as good as we had in the first match. Both teams bringing huge squads with them. Roscommon have named a squad of 36 in our match day programme. Mayo have 45 players listed, and we can bring you some pre-match build up now and join Angelina out on the field.
Delighted to be joined by the Roscommon manager, Anthony Carroll. Anthony, listen, thanks for talking to us. You were very immersed in the warm-up there. Listen, what's the mood like with the lads? They seem to be moving well.
Yeah, it's good. We're at full strength today. We're missing no one, so no excuse if we lose. Good win against Leitrim Long for the last day. So Mayo is a different challenge. They're probably a lot stronger team, so we'll see. I can tell you in an hour how we're going.
You know, we spoke before the last game, after the last game, about, you know, the importance of these games to the squads, you know, in terms of the competition, the Masters competition, and you know, everyone is immersed in it, everyone is hungry for it, and when you're in a final you want to win it.
Oh, definitely. Like, we played our early group games, we had only 18, 19 tagged out for some of them. We have 33 today. That's just tell you, when you get to a final everyone wants to win it when you get this far, and look, it's Mayo want to win it as much as we do, so hopefully the best team wins.
Will the St. Crone's, the home advantage count for anything?
Well, it's only home advantage if you're from St. Crone's. Like, if you're from any other club in Roscommon, it's not home advantage. So.
But you should have a good crowd in here to support you.
Yeah, we should have the local crowd anyway, hopefully, so we'll see anyway.
Yeah, and exactly, you said a full squad. That's brilliant to get to this stage and have a full squad to choose from.
It is, yeah, because like early on we were struggling with different reasons, and it's the age group you're dealing with that have things early on, and it's that family things just can't be always there. So, but look, today we have a full group, so hopefully we can win it with the full group we have. So.
Brilliant. Well, Anthony, best of luck. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Anthony Carroll there, the Roscommon manager. We'll endeavour to get someone from the Mayo side of things in just a couple of moments. We'll hand it back to you for the minute, Cathal.
Angelina, thank you very much indeed. Good to hear from Anthony and the Roscommon setup. And as Angelina says, great boost for Roscommon to have a full selection to choose from today for the final. They've named a panel, as I say, of 36 players in the match day squad. Mayo are just in a huddle away to our right hand side. Our match referee will be Michael Duffy from Sligo for the match, and Michael is just out there going through his final preparation as well. So should be a really entertaining encounter. Mayo with some really talented players in their mix. Their midfield partnership will be Sean Lenihan and Miles Fallon in the middle of the field, and that's going to be a really crucial battle around the middle, as it was in that game between Cavan and Sligo as well, because primary possession all important in a match like this. There is the Mayo squad, and so many of the players out there. They've gone through quite a lengthy warm-up routine, Mayo, and they're almost set to go now for the game here in the plate final between Mayo and Roscommon on a busy couple of weekends for Masters football. with a couple of more finals to come in the next couple of weeks. The big one, the Tier 1 final between Kerry and Tyrone. That'll take place at St Bridget's J Club, not too far from here in Kiltoom in County Roscommon, at 4 o'clock next Saturday afternoon. That's a game we will bring you live as well on our live stream. There is the view at St Crone's. As you can see, things have brightened up considerably now, and very good conditions for the second final of the day, and quite a good crowd has made its way in as well for the two matches. It was quite a large support for the two teams in the first match, and as Angelina mentioned there as well, home support for Roscommon in this second game, and Mayo not too far from here either, and they've got quite a few supporters in the ground as well. We will bring you some news from the Mayo camp very shortly indeed as well. But Tyrone now fast approaching, 6 minutes away, and it should be a really blockbuster encounter between these two sides. There's some of the view of the developments happening here at St Crone's. New pitch being developed behind the dressing room complex, and when that's completed, it really will be a fine facility for the local club. So we have almost time now to bring you some pre-match build-up from the Mayo side of things. Let's join Angelina.
I'm joined here by John Riley, who's TOG, but also a member of the management team as well. John, listen, fabulous day here in St Crone's, ready for a final. What's the mood like with the lads there?
The mood is good. We trained well on Monday night. I think we 30 lads down on the list there. We 45. We're missing a few lads. You know, Michael Miles came back in there, Brendan Moran there. So it's good to see that. That'll lift us again, you know. So look, we're looking for a good game, and the conditions are perfect, and great facility here in this club. It's great to be here.
There's a nice crowd coming in as well. Now, I was just saying to Anthony Carroll, the Roscommon manager, they'll expect probably a good home support here as well today. But I mean, it's an ideal day for football. Great ground to host it in. For Masters football, it's a prestigious day to have the double header.
Oh, it is a great thing, and you can see there's a double header again next week and then London after that. I don't know if you listen to Joe Brawley's podcast, he was singing the praises of Masters football and the mainstay that GA plays in the community. So it's a great thing to see it here. And I know you're saying Roscommon supporters will be numbered here. You know Mayo. Mayo people will come out and support no matter what, and we're hoping a big cheer in there, and look, we're hoping to get the result today.
You could probably talk Joe into maybe declaring, could you?
I don't know, maybe he might come in for management. He's always talking about how he knows so much about football, but it'd be a great crack to get him down, do you know what I mean? But look, it's great, and I think it's something the GA need to row in behind, because everyone wants to play football. And you look at the Mayo Championship, you know, at the junior B, intermediate, senior, there's still lads in their 40s playing at that level, and they just want to continue.
But you see that, you mentioned the likes of Michael Miles there, who was Mayo ladies manager for the last couple of years, the last 3 years, straight back in then to play a bit of football. Like, there's obviously great hunger there from those lads.
There is, but Jeremy Miles is still playing up in Enniscrone in the intermediate championship, but he's mad for it too, you know, and he was doing a lot of work there with the Mayo ladies, and it was hard from this year to come down and commit. But like, you know, we're looking for lads that, you know, ex-Mayo, the likes of Keith Higgins and Andy Moore, for these boys to come back in. And look, I might be sitting more on the bench when them boys come in, but it's great to see it, and look, it's fun, and that's the main thing with the lads. But when the ball's thrown in, it's serious too.
Absolutely serious. Well, listen, best of luck, John. Thanks so much for chatting to us. Cathal, you know all about Michael Miles playing football with you down there, so we'll hear more of that, I'm sure, during the commentary. We'll hand it back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Angelina. Well used to chasing after him in training, but Michael is still fit as a fiddle, and he's in the Mayo squad today. Delighted to say Con O'Mara's alongside us for co-commentary on this one. Con, you were involved with the Sligo setup for that last game. It was a cracking match. I know you'd be disappointed to come out on the wrong side, but great game, great advertisement for Masters.
I think everything that was good about Masters was in it. Some fantastic football, great scores, and you could see how wholehearted all the players were, how much it meant to them. Difficult, all right, when you come out the wrong side of a 1 point defeat, but that's sport, that's football. And you know, you're mentioning there about how important the Masters is, and it is important, but for a lot of these guys that play the game, you know, it doesn't take them too long to get over it, put it like that. But it still would be nice to be going back to Sligo with a bit of
Single point. We're just getting some interference on the line, but that's been resolved now. But Mayo and Roscommon is going to be a cracking game. Mayo have 45 players listed in the programme. It's quite a squad. Roscommon with 36, and as Angelina mentioned with Anthony there as well, they've got a full squad to choose from. Can you talk to us a little bit about the form of both these teams coming into this one?
Well, as a Sligo man, I could tell you that Sligo beat the two of them in the group stages, but we ended up in the division below them, in the final below them. But the two really good sides. And again, with Masters football, you never really know for a group game who you're going to have. So we can see there that Mayo have strengthened up there. You know, you hear them mention of the likes of Michael Miles coming back in. Where are they both at? You see, it brings its own problems as well, Cathal. If you have 45 guys on the sideline, because no, you'd be saying lads over 40 should have a bit more sense about where they might be in the pecking order, but I found that isn't always the case. Everybody wants to play, so it puts a bit of pressure on. It can lead to a bit of disruption. You're trying to get guys on, you're trying to see what they can go on for. But when you look at both sides here, Mayo and Roscommon, any time they've met in a final before, and there's a couple of instances of it, it's been a 1-point game. A few years ago, I know that they went in a Shield final, they went to a replay before Roscommon came through by a point. So it's going to be tight stuff no more than the first game. But when you look at the players there, some of the standout names from a Mayo Masters point of view, the half-back line there, Declan Doyle, Brian Henley, the captain, Pat Mulcrone. Pat Mulcrone, I know, is eligible for the over 50s, the Irish over 50s next year when the Aussies come in March. They're travelling over for 2 tests and they're going to have an over 50 side. Pat Mulcrone will be eligible there. And you know, we saw John Riley talking there. If he's on your bench, you know you have a really strong team, because John was super last year, very good against Cavan in the plate final. Roscommon on the other side, I know that talking to Anthony, he's very happy that he has a full squad to pick from the last couple of games. It's funny, the closer you get to the finals, guys start becoming available for a number of reasons, but they have really good players that football supporters will know. They're in Kilbride. He's listed down here as St Jude's of Dublin. He's St Bridget's. He won an All-Ireland with St Bridget's when Kevin McStay and Liam McHale were up there. Brian Higgins played county football. Dermot Foley, their captain from Kilmore, there is a real warrior. And then up front, Terence Kelly, number 13. He's a guy we'll be keeping an eye on. And now, I was only on the line there, but out in the warm-up and so on and so forth, the conditions here are absolutely perfect. There is a bit of a breeze in it, but it doesn't affect it. Fair play to St Crohn's, and thanks to them for having us here. The facilities are just fantastic.
Yeah, they're second to none. Absolutely outstanding ground. And they've been great hosts for us so far. Roscommon are just out on the field now at the moment. You can hear some of the supporters just cheering them as they make their way onto the field. But it's going to be another entertaining encounter. You mentioned the conditions, Colin. We were talking, myself and Paul, in the first game, the significance of the wind. I don't know how much of a significance you placed on that from a management point of view, but it looks to be picking up maybe a little bit in terms of strength again.
Yeah, but the funny thing was, Sligo played a lot better into it, you know, and kicked some great scores into it. Yeah, it looks like it's picking up there. I'm not sure how much of an effect it has. We didn't drop too many short. Actually, Cavan, who had the win, probably dropped more short in the second half. So I don't think conditions aren't going to mess with the game anyway. There's no excuses from that front. But it'll be interesting to see how both sides read that wind and how they set up against it. At Masters, you'll find you rarely have the same pack in the defence that you have at senior level, club level anyway, or intermediate club level, mainly because you don't have the legs for getting up and down the pitch like guys once would have had. But there still is, as you can see out there, guys in good shape and good nick.
Yep, and now we have both teams. They've just gone in there for the toss with Michael Duffy, our match referee. The Roscommon captain is Dermot Foley from Kilmore, and the Mayo captain in there as well. And it looks like Roscommon are going to play into it in the first half as we pause for Ron Navian. Beautiful rendition of Ron Navian, so almost set to go now for the second of today's doubleheader here at the St Crohn's J Club. Mayo against Roscommon in the Masters Plate final, the third tier of Masters football, and these two great Connacht rivals set to do battle once again with silverware on the line. So it looks like it's going to be Mayo playing with the breeze in the first half. They'll play from right to left as we look at it in their traditional green and red jerseys, and Roscommon playing from left to right in the first half. So Michael Duffy, our match referee, just calling the players into their positions and getting us set to go now for what should be another close game. And that's something that Paul mentioned as well, Con, the different tiers offers itself and lends itself to very tight matches because there's very little between the teams.
Absolutely, and we see it, with senior inter-county. The league competition is often offers up the best games because teams are at the same level, and they're really competitive and enjoyable games. But if, for example, the likes of a Sligo or a Cavan were to go out and take on your Tyrones at this present moment, it'd be like putting, a Dublin team up against either of those counties as it is now. But you can see, just thinking about what you said, Colin, about the wind, I was thinking back, like both sides in our game played better into the wind and got more scores out of playing into the wind. So maybe it isn't the factor that you'd imagine it is. There is a bit, it might only be visual on this fantastic pitch. It does feel, when you're playing, the players were saying, like you're kicking downhill a bit as you're going into the goals, into the wind.
Okay, so away we go, and the ball is in. There's one late change in the Mayo team. It's Patrick Patton wearing number... Okay, so Tom Colleran does start, so Mayo into some early possession.
That's him there wearing number 40.
Yeah, he's wearing number 40. Ball into the corner, and that's an early free in for Mayo. Well, they moved the ball quickly, didn't they? Ball into the corner, and the player fouled was the full forward Mike Gallagher, and this is a good chance for them to get off the mark. Difficult angle just on that 21-metre line, but a chance for Mayo to get an early score.
Yeah, and that those nerves, and we would have seen it in the first game too. We were very slow to settle. When players are nervous, they do things that they won't do as the game goes on. I think as the game goes on, you won't see Anthony McDermott coming through a back like that. There was no real threat, and this can get Mayo up and running.
Free comes in from the full forward Mike Gallagher, and he pops it over the bar. The ideal start for Mayo. They lead by a point to no score after just 50 seconds of play. Now, it looks like we have an early injury here, Con.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
Is that Miles Fallon?
It is Miles Fallon. He's been playing Masters for a number of years. A very good player, very good servant. You can see a big physical man.
He's just moving a little bit gingerly. Not quite sure what the nature of the injury is, but Michael Moyles is going to come in wearing number 36. And Miles Fallon maybe just pulled something there.
Okay, a calf or something like that.
He's just walking a little bit gingerly, but his afternoon looks like it might be over already after less than a minute. Roscommon have retained possession from their own kick-out. Michael Duffy has spotted something off the ball, and Roscommon might have a chance here to equalise almost instantly.
So Terence Kelly, the danger man inside, was getting his jersey tested, I'd imagine, as Ian Kilbride took that mark. Well spotted by the referee.
And John McHale from Roscommon Gaels will take the free. It's up, all the way up to the edge of the D, so it's a really good opportunity to equalise for Roscommon. Looks like Michael Moyles has come in there for Miles Fallon in the middle of the park for Mayo. So this is the kick now for John McHale. Kicking it off the ground, that's a lovely strike. And he slots it over the bar. So Roscommon back on level terms, a point apiece after just 2 minutes.
You like to see that both teams getting a score, at any level. If it takes 7-8 minutes to get your first score, there's an uneasiness about it that this could open us up for a really good game.
Yeah, Tom Colleran playing that one forward as far as the man wearing number 33, Dermot Moyles. Michael Moyles now going with a direct ball inside. It's a good one as well. Mayo moving well in the early stages. Ball comes inside. It's as far as Michael McNamara. Good shooting opportunity here. Well, what a start this is. Mayo leading by 2 points to 1. Less than 3 minutes played, and we've already had 3 scores.
Beautiful score. A great left-footed ball in from Michael Moyles in there to the corner forward. Eddie Conroy, the vice captain, he was positioned at full forward, usually for Mayo. He's a great target man, and he dished it off brilliantly there, and Michael McNamara making no mistake.
So Mayo leading by 2 points to 1, playing with the breeze in the opening half. The kick-out comes from David Hussey from the home club here, St. Crones. Another high kick-out. That looks like a tactic already to find Ian Kilbride on this right-hand flank as Roscommon attack. That ball has gone down the line. Kilbride has gone back after it. I think that's going to be a free. The foot came in from Eddie Conroy. Well, Michael Duffy has given that to Mayo. It looks like a line ball for Mayo is the end result. I think Roscommon thought they had a free.
Is he going to have a word with Eddie? I thought Eddie, yeah, he's going to have a word with him here. I thought he drew on as Ian Kilbride was picking it up. We couldn't see it exactly here because there was guys on the sideline. You're right though, he's giving it to Mayo. Yeah,
so it is a Mayo line ball. Michael Moyles has taken it. Conroy is making his way back in. Michael Moyles drives it in towards the edge of the square, but it's picked up back there by Roscommon. Paul Gilleran now. David Delaney, the centre half back. hugging this right-hand touchline. Mayo applying some pressure high up the field here.
Pressure, rise up!
Roscommon just finding it difficult to get out now. They might just over that far side. They make use of their goalkeeper, David Hussey, as the extra player, and now they've found some space with Brian Higgins. Higgins taking it forward now, being pursued by the corner forward, Jarlath McDonough. Forward again, good running this from Brian Higgins. He's burst all the way from that left corner back position, all the way out now as far as Niall Connolly. Good play this from Roscommon. They'd love a score from here. They might get a goal. Maybe they're inside. It's Terence Kelly settles for the point, but that's a brilliant score. Worked it all the way back with their own goalkeeper.
Beautiful piece of work. As you said, they're under pressure here in the right corner back position, switched it around, and the injection of pace there. The value of having a guy as athletic as Brian Higgins at any level of football, but over 40s, you could see he was able to get away from the players there and opened it up. Great ball, crossfield ball into Terence Kelly, and he's no better man to finish.
Roscommon have won the ball from the kick out. And away they go on the attack again. Direct ball inside. Oh, Mayo, they're just a little bit off there, and then big collision on John McHale. Actually let the ball through his hands that time, but then took a little bit of a hit.
Purely accidental. You know, the Mayo player had no notion what was. Oh, maybe Michael Duffy takes a different view, but I didn't think he could do anything there. I think if McHale had to win the ball coming in, that collision wouldn't have happened. And there's no doubt that John McDonough would have expected McHale to gather that.
Looks like it might be a yellow. And it is for John McDonough, the Mayo cornerback. I think the end result is a free in for Roscommon.
In fairness to the referee, he is a lot closer to it than we are here, but just watching the flight of the ball, I thought, you know, if McHale caught that ball, there was nothing John McDonough could do. He didn't know where the ball was, he didn't know what was happening behind him. It was just a clash. I hope he's okay. He took quite a heavy dunk there.
He did take quite a heavy hit, and John McHale has already kicked a point, but he looks like he's sitting back up and is now. That's encouraging. And it looks like it will be a free in for Roscommon. Ronan Cox has got the ball in hand, and a good chance here for the Rossies maybe to move in front. Been a great start.
Brilliant start. You can see with Mayo playing it in, they probably have bigger guys inside. There's more movement on the Roscommon side. It's kind of a clash of inside lines to see who's going to win that out. But that Roscommon forward line, the movement here is unbelievable. You can see it when the ball comes out to the halfway line here. They're trying to get separation from the backs, running left and right, and that's if they can sustain that, that's hard to manage for an hour of football if you're in the back line.
Good to see John McHale back up on his feet, able to continue, and Ronan Cox will take the free now, just outside that 21-metre line. Quite a lengthy stoppage, so we might have some added time at the end of this first half, you'd imagine. Here comes the free. Lovely conversion from Ronan Cox, and that pushes Roscommon 3 points to 2 in front with 7 minutes on the watch. Kick out coming now from Kieran O'Malley, away to our right-hand side, goes long again. Great take from Liam Heaney for Mayo, finds Michael Moyles now. He's looking up for that long ball in, instead plays it short to the run of Sean Lenehan. Here's a chance for Mayo to respond instantly. Mike Gallagher kicked a point from a free earlier on, works it back outside. Michael Moyles getting involved again, drills a ball in. That's a great ball too. Can Mayo finish it with a score? That's just gone to the right and wide. Good build-up play, but Mayo unable to find the score.
Yeah, and Eddie Conroy will be very disappointed with that. The big brave man, he's usually he takes the freeze at times in close for Mayo as well, and you put your house on him there. But again, Michael Moyles, that beautiful little pass, you'd be thinking it's a bit tight for passing like that, but it was a beautifully weighted pass right to Eddie's advantage, allowed him to turn on to his right. It just didn't come in for him.
Kick out now from David Hussey. Both keepers happy enough to go long here in the early stages. Great take in the middle from Brian Higgins. Roscommon have 3 men up. Mayo going man on man. That's well anticipated by Declan Doyle, the wing back.
Declan Doyle looks like a young fella, but I think he's also eligible for the over 50s when the Australians come. You'd never think it, and the way he plays it, he's a real terrier of a defender.
He plays it wide for Mayo. They go the more direct route this time. Nice ball inside, and Eddie Conroy has got the mark. Ups against holding it for a shot, instead plays it as far as his full forward Mike Gallagher. Has Anthony McDermott for company on the far side. Rounds 1 challenge, no free, says the referee. Play continues. And is that a double hop? I think that's the indication. And it's a free out for Roscommon. They've started well back there, the Roscommon defenders.
Yeah, they dealt with that very well. But you can see again Eddie Conroy, what a target man he is to have. I know he's a good bit out when he caught his mark. Put into Mike Galler. Mike Galler looks like a guy you couldn't take your eye off either. He's tricky. He was looking to go around and go in on goal straight away.
Here come Roscommon again. Foul on Dermot Foley, the captain. Roscommon leading by 3 points to 2. Just inside the first 10 minutes at St. Crohn's J Club in County Roscommon on this Saturday afternoon. The played final, Cavan beat Sligo earlier on in the first game of the day in the Challenge Cup final by a single point. That game too was a cracker, and this one is already simmering nicely as Declan Doyle spreads the play for Mayo as far as Brian Henley. Lovely play for Mayo. They've opened this up now. Jarlath McDonough looking for the ball inside, looking for Eddie Conroy, being matched every step of the way by Joseph Towie. Conroy will try and keep it in. I think he's won the free. Maybe a needless foul on the part of the cornerback on that occasion.
Eddie was smart there. He just got his body position in right. The first one to the ball there was always going to get the free the way they were running. Hope Eddie isn't after hurting his shoulder there. He's down on his knees.
He's after putting the hand up, isn't he, straight away? That might suggest that maybe he's picked up a bit of a knock here, which would be such a shame at such an early stage. They've already lost Miles Fallon.
He'll try to stay on. That looks like an AC joint or something like that. Might just have popped or half popped, but it'll take more than an AC joint to get Eddie off the pitch, I think.
Well, here's the free for Mayo, and just on that 13-metre line, Michael Moyles has taken a hold of it. I think they've brought in a pair of fresh legs, Mayo. Looks like Paddy Hopkins has come in. Eddie Conroy is just being looked at there by the physio. Here comes Michael Moyles with the free. It's a very difficult angle. Moyles has a go.
Dangerous.
It's going to drop on the edge of the square. Bounces dangerously, and it's still there for Mayo. Is there a goal chance? Oh, there is. And Jarlath McDonough unable to find the target, but I think it took a deflection on the way through. And it's a 45.
You could see that was when that ball came in, there was a lot of players caught flat-footed under it. It was always going to break down, and Jarlath McDonough flashed a shot there. Obviously got a touch from a Roscommon player. They'd be happy enough giving away the 45 there. That could easily have been back at the net.
Here's Paddy Hopkins, goes short with the 45. He's looking for the return here. Instead, it's held on to by Tom Colleran. Brilliant block down by Joseph Towie. Roscommon defending well in the early stages, and here they come now, looking to go on the counter. They've left 3 men up. There's 1+1 back there for Mayo. The free man is Brian Henley. Here's the centre forward, Conor Byrne. Henley has just dropped off him. Ball back outside. Paul Gillerin is looking for it. He might just get it here, but he might be met by the challenge of Sean Lenihan, who gets back behind the ball. Angle delivery, looking for the full forward, Ronan Cox. Kicked a point from a free earlier, and he'll get a chance from a mark now. Good build-up play from Roscommon.
When that ball was in the air from Paul Gillerin, you would have thought it was too high to work for the mark, but it was into such a good space that it worked well for Ronan Cox.
Cox now trying to guide this one over. I think he likes that one, and why shouldn't he? Because that sailed over the bar. It's a mark for Ronan Cox with the point. 4 points to 2 in favour of Roscommon, playing into that draft of the breeze in the first half.
Their interplay is really good from Roscommon. They're so slick when they're on it. And Mayo look quite good too. Just they could do with a score now to keep in touch.
Rossi's doing well off the kickouts. Ball down into the corner, looking for the corner forward, Ronan Cox. Unable to keep that one in. It's gone out for a line ball from Mayo.
But it's refreshing too to see both sides willing to kick the ball. I know if it's a bad kick, there'll be people giving out, but it is refreshing to see the ball moving.
Good pace here down this left-hand side for Mayo. There's a man inside as well. Roscommon looking very open here. Can Mayo make it count? Paddy Hopkins kicking it off the right boot, and Mayo get their score. Well-worked point. They worked it brilliantly at pace down the field, and Paddy Hopkins pops it over. 4 points to 3 in favour of Roscommon.
Super score, but you can see looking out though, the heat is starting, it's really cleared up, and you can see a couple of players with hands on hips. The pace of this game so far has been remarkable. You wouldn't think it was an over 40s game, but it will take its toll. I know that after 15 minutes that they have the option of a water break, which I'm sure both sides will take. But that was a brilliant ball in, and then Paddy Hopkins, I was thinking he'd take the mark and settle himself, but no, did the right thing, bounced it into the middle of the D and kicked a great score for Mayo.
Really good point for Mayo. Closes the gap down to a single point again. Roscommon doing pretty well off the kick-out so far. They've won a lot of primary possession. They've got it here again too. Mayo just trying to get some players back in a defensive position. Michael Moyles is one of them. But Roscommon have managed to almost work their way inside. That was Dermot Moyles back there, helping out. And now forward to Liam Heaney. Man on the inside is John Riley. Instead it comes back inside to Colin Cafferty. Mayo having to be patient. The Roscommon rear guard set up here to try and repel this attack. Ball down to the corner in that afternoon sunshine is picked up by Mayo, and now they're on the attack again. Roscommon trying to get back there and apply the pressure. Is that a free? It is. And Mayo will have the chance to draw level again. Mike Gallagher doing well, the full forward.
He's like an eel, isn't he? He's sliding left and right when he gets it. You wouldn't want to go and try to meet him with a shoulder. I'd say he could be left looking very silly going out by him. And you know, he definitely is a guy that's going to draw frees, because there is danger every time he gets it in there.
Here is the free now from Jarlath McDonough. Does he put that one wide? I think he has. That's a lead off, and already when you think about the chance for Eddie Conroy earlier from a similar decent kicking position, that's 2 scores maybe that Mayo have left behind.
Yeah, and in what promises to be a tight game, you'd hope they wouldn't rue those chances at the end. You know, those kind of gimmies, if you like. You definitely would have expected that. Michael Moyles would have fancied that, I think, with the left foot even over from that side. Would really look like a tap over.
Mayo are getting Davy Keane ready to come in. Meantime, we'll continue with the kick out. Again, it comes towards this right-hand flank. Michael Moyles gets the initial touch on it, but the break is won by Roscommon, picked up by Paul Gillerin. Now it's with the centre-back, David Delaney. Looking for a man off the shoulder. Dermot Foley, the captain, offering assistance. Mayo retreating into a more defensive shape. Now they've left 2 players forward. Everybody else is back in behind the ball. Roscommon having to be patient, but they lead by a point. I would imagine they're the happier team right now playing into that breeze. Space on this right-hand side for Adrian Frayne if he takes a hold of it. Instead, Brian Higgins goes inside. Now it comes outside to Frayne. Working it through the hands well. Roscommon out towards this right-hand touchline. Coming inside with Ian Kilbride. Such a skillful player. Finds its way to Terence Kelly, and Roscommon have worked this one well. They'd love a score. It's come to the midfielder with a shot coming in from Dermot Foley, gathered easily by Kieran O'Malley in the Mayo goal. And now the Mayo men look to go on the counter. Colin Cafferty back on his own 45, finds a really good pass as far as John Riley, using the foot to good effect. Mayo building up now with Paddy Hopkins, a point already. Michael Moyles is off the shoulder. He'd love to get this one onto the left boot, and Michael Moyles has the free. Mayo have the free as well. They need to get this one just to make it count.
Yeah, it's going to come in as well. I can feel for Brian Higgins there, because as Michael Moyles went to take a shoulder, he kind of left his feet, jumped into him. Higgins is saying, what was I meant to do? But he should have left that. That was a tricky kick. It's after becoming a hell of a lot easier now. It's after get moved into the edge of the D.
Yeah, they will fancy themselves from here, Paddy Hopkins and Mayo, to level things up in this plate final. Perfect angle from our camera view, and Hopkins finds the target. So Mayo 4, Roscommon 4 after 17.5 minutes.
Mayo have come nicely back into this game now from their point of view. They've tightened up at the back. They're not giving Roscommon as much space, even though Roscommon are still winning their kick out around the middle. They're not getting the space to look up and thread balls through that they were early on. They've clamped down a bit on that. But it is remarkable with the amount of long kick outs that Roscommon are going with, that the retention rate is so high.
Yeah, they've done really well in the middle. Dermot Foley and Brian Higgins, the midfield pairing, and this time, well, they'll win the break again. Mayo have actually got the initial touch on a lot of those kick-outs, but Roscommon have picked up a lot of breaks. This time again, Brian Higgins helping set up an attack. That's a rather wayward pass across, and Mayo will have the line ball. And I think Roscommon...
Oh, not another man down. Goalkeeper. After that kick-out. Oh, I hope this isn't from the kick-out. One that you get an injury that is quite prominent at this age level is an Achilles. I hope it isn't that. He's definitely in pain.
He does look in a lot of pain, the Roscommon goalkeeper, David Hussey. We're going to have a water break while he receives some attention, but not something you want to see. And it looks like they're going to bring in another sub. It looks like Jonathan Conroy is making his way down there to the goalmouth area just to maybe come in. but not something you want to see. But 4 points apiece, Con. Fairly even exchanges. Roscommon maybe edging it in terms of possession, but Mayo have come back into it nicely with those couple of scores.
Yeah, both sides playing really nice football. Roscommon, once they settled in, played the better for the first 5 or 6 minutes, but we've seen Mayo come storming back into it, and it's set up really nicely. That is a worry there for Roscommon. When you lose it's tough to get a really good keeper. It's very few panels will have 2 really good keepers, and we saw how well they were doing off their own kick out there. That can disrupt it a little bit. But yeah, both sides playing, like you can see, there isn't a dirty stroke in it. Every ball keenly contested, but I like the mix in between. I like the way Mayo in particular are using the kick pass. When a guy gets into space, he's getting it straight away. And from a Mayo point of view, they'd be happy as well the way they're after blocking the space for Roscommon. At the start, Roscommon looked like they were going to thread their way through them. They're not getting it as easy now, so it's up for Anthony Carroll and his charges there to figure out how they get back on the front foot again.
There is David Hussey just making his way off very gingerly. Looks in a lot of pain, unfortunately. We wish him well with that, and hopefully it's not as serious as it looks, but his afternoon is over, and Roscommon have brought in Jonathan Conroy wearing number 16. Play will resume with the Mayo line ball over on the far side, but we're midway through now the first half, and as expected, this game is as close as we thought it might be. Liam Mahinu is the man with the ball in hand there. So away we go again. Route 1 this time from Mayo, in on top of Michael McNamara, the centre forward. He's just bundled away from possession, and Roscommon win it back, ball into the middle. Finds its way to Brian Higgins. Higgins is looking up, he's going to deliver first time as well. In on top of Ronan Cox, who does well to palm that one down. Roscommon combining nicely. Oh, the pass was looking for the continued run of Terence Kelly. Doesn't quite come off, and Mayo escape with possession. Here they go, working it towards the hand. Now they'll look to deliver maybe with the foot from this area, but have to try and reset here. John Riley has picked up a good position. Again, using the foot as Con says, down in front of Mike Gallagher. He has been fouled, and Mayo will have the free.
Yeah, Stephen Connolly didn't need to come a second time. I think he's going to go into the book for that. But we can see, Mike Gallagher, very tough when he's inside. He's a threat that he'll take you on, but he's making himself available for that kick pass there. At the other side, brilliant interception when they looked at a half threat of a goal by Declan Doyle. He just cut out Jerry Leitch's hand pass there at a vital stage.
Michael Moyles is going to take this free, tries to pick out an angle ball. It's a brilliant ball as well, into the run of Michael McNamara. Ball back outside now to Jarlath McDonough. He'll fancy it from there off the left boot. Has he have the accuracy required? He does. Jarlath McDonough with a point to push Mayo in front. 5 points to 4 after 20 minutes.
That's a great score, and that makes up, I suppose, for a couple of the wides that Mayo had from easier positions, because you wouldn't have thought that was within the scoring zone, but you knew when he kicked it, he was very confident that it was going over the black spot. So
Roscommon now trailing. Ball kicked out by Jonathan Conroy out towards the middle. Free for Roscommon. Down into that far corner. Roscommon forwards look dangerous when they get into possession. Ronan Cox has 2 points already, but he's quite a way away from goal. Gets through the challenge. He has the advantage here as well. Now you just wonder, is this within kicking range with that little bit of a breeze into his face here?
You'd imagine he'll be right on the outer limits of it. That's a fair distance out with that breeze there, but again, you can see the threat in there. You won't be happy with that, giving a free like that away. A lazy hand across the neck and makes an easy decision for the referee.
So here's the chance now for Roscommon to get back on level terms. It is the full forward Ronan Cox. Kicked a free and a mark already. He's looking after this one anxiously. Oh, he's put it over the bar. Well, I shouldn't have doubted him. That's a brilliant kick.
Brilliant kick, and a bit to spare as well, Carl. I thought it was going to be touch and go, whether he'd have the range there, but he had it and a bit extra.
So Roscommon level things up. Kieran O'Malley has a free man out here. That free man is Davy Keane. That's a fine kick out. Sets Mayo on the attack again. Roscommon need to get back into a defensive position now. Lovely ball back inside from McNamara as far as Davy Keane. McNamara now threads that one down as far as the man wearing number 32, Paddy Hopkins. 2 points already. Mayo shifting it well from left to right. Roscommon have set up that defensive rear guard, and they've won it back through Dermot Foley, anticipated the hand pass well. Now Mayo might win it back themselves. Michael McNamara comes in on it. And Michael Duffy spots the foul. Free for Brian Higgins. Just about hanging on to it is Ian Kilbride. Again, going with the foot inside. This man has had a really good game so far, Ronan Cox, but this time the ball spills away from him at the crucial moment.
And again, you'd have expect it was a lovely ball in, and he's playing so well, you'd expect him to bag that. Just I suppose he was thinking what he was going to do next with it.
Here come Mayo now, looking to attack from deep. Liam Heaney has John Riley for company. Sean Lenihan again driving it in with that right boot. Jarlath McDonough kicked a lovely score from a similar position earlier on in this first half. Mike Gallagher now. Can Mayo hit the front again as we approach that half-time mark? Cafferty weaves his way past the challenge. It comes back outside to John Riley. He's going to take it on here. Riley dropping it short. McNamara was in there, tried to fist it towards goal, but in the end it goes to the left and wide.
Tricky introduction there for Jonathan Conroy. It was one of those nasty little balls in that was just dropped with players all around you, but he did very well, held his ground, and you know, he started well off his kickouts as well. Let's see if there's going to be any change on that front with the change in keeper here.
Well, certainly Roscommon's tactic has been to go long, hasn't it, so far? And has worked to fairly good effect. This one again down the middle, and they've managed to hang on to it. Great take from Dermot Foley, the captain, leading by example. Ball comes back outside to Terence Kelly. Roscommon have to reset. Pat Mulcrone is going to come in for Mayo in just a second. Now can Roscommon break down this mass Mayo defence? There's 11 players back there behind the ball. Here it comes again for Kilbride. Brian Higgins. Dermot Foley started this attack with a great take in the middle. Has he kicked the score at the end of it? Oh, he has. Arguably the score of the match so far. Dermot Foley puts Roscommon in front again.
Yeah, and Dermot had one effort early on that dropped short, but it didn't affect his confidence. You could see the second he got that, he knew he had that bit of space to work into, and a fantastic strike.
Davy Keane for Mayo again. This has been a great game so far. Really good standard, very little to choose between the sides. Michael Moyles plays that one forward. The bounce just deceives the Mayo attacker, Paddy Hopkins, and Roscommon tidy things up back there again. They lead by a point. Roscommon 6, Mayo 5. As the ball goes down again for Roscommon into that forward position, Jerry Leish plays it in field. Well, they're just making hard work of it here. Niall Connolly was looking for a free. He's not going to get it. Mayo win it back.
How was that not dangerous play?
And now the ball finds its way to Jarlath McDonough, who helps set Mayo on the attack. Daniel Breslin trying to get past the challenge there on the far side. Ian Kilbride gets a hand in. The ball has crossed the line. And it looks like it's gone the way of Roscommon, but Michael Duffy is going to give Mayo a free.
The temperature just lifting a little bit there. A couple of tasty challenges.
Mike Gallagher, again a heavy bounce on that ball, just making it a little bit more difficult than it might otherwise have been for the Mayo full forward. He's outnumbered down there as well, and he's overcarried it. Good defending from Roscommon. Not a whole lot Mike Gallagher could do in that situation.
Nothing he could do. A little bit like the Rugby World Cup when a guy makes a line break and gets too far forward with no one behind him. He got swamped in there and there was no option. There's nothing he could do there, and the right call. But you could see when the ball was loose there how much it matters. The guys are throwing themselves in, and I know that can lead. There was a call here that there was dangerous play. I didn't see that myself, but it's no harm that up the temperature a bit, brings a bit of more momentum into it and a bit more fight into it.
Yeah, the competitive juice is certainly flowing here at St. Crone's. Lovely take under pressure from Dermot Foley. He's had a fine match for Roscommon so far. The captain plays it back to the man wearing number 19, Paul Kelly. He's being pursued by Paddy Hopkins. Just about gets the hand pass away. Trying to intervene was Liam Heaney for Mayo, but Roscommon playing into a slight breeze in this first half at St. Crone's. Lead this plate final by 6 points to 5. The ball coming back out around. And a chance now for the Rossies to extend that advantage. Is with the corner forward, Terence Kelly.
Oh, what a score.
He likes the look of that one. Roscommon move 2 in front. Terence Kelly with a fine kick.
What a score, and you'd be on about packed defences, but when you have a guy like Terence Kelly that can turn on a sixpence like that and really drive in and under pressure kick a score like that, that was a really good score. Guy Conor Byrne there, number 11, they're giving him a breather here, or is he picking up? He's just picking up a man. He's been a really good anchor for them there at 11. They have a lovely shape, Roscommon, when they go forward and try to get that ball in, but you could see there, once it goes to Terence Kelly, he's one thing on his mind. He is a real predator.
Long kick out from Kieran O'Malley. Again, Roscommon look like they're in charge of this situation. It's picked up by Adrian Frayne. Goes past one challenge, and now the Rossies starting to motor really nicely here at St. Crohn's. It's with the centre forward Conor Byrne from Elphin. Two players to his left hand side. One of them is that man Terence Kelly. 2 points from play already. 2 bounces was the call from Michael Duffy there, and Mayo instantly going the counter. Michael Moyles playing it forward. First time looking for the run of Jarlath McDonough, who does well to win it, and Mayo might be in behind here. It's with Paddy Hopkins. There's a goal chance on here from Mayo. It's over to the far side. Can they finish it off?
What a save.
Saved by Jonathan Conroy. Coming in was Mike Gallagher. Well, Mayo went for the juggler, but they come away with nothing at the first time of asking, but they will have a 45.
We'll have a 45. I'd like to see that again. But Mike Gallagher, it looked all the world it was going to be a goal. It was Paddy Hopkins put the ball across. Very unselfish. I thought he was going to go himself, and he's such a good finisher, pick a corner. But he put it in for Mike Gallagher. It was a brilliant ball because he was able to launch himself at it and just put it past the keeper. But he wasn't able to do that, and Jonathan Conroy saving Roscommon there.
So the 45 now for Mayo. Sean Lenahan will take the kick. I think he's looking for something short here, and does go short now. It's worked out. Can they get a score? Yes, they can. Paddy Hopkins kicking his 3rd point of the afternoon, and Mayo close the gap to a point. 7 points to 6 in favour of Roscommon as we head for the final minute of normal time in this first half.
Super score by Paddy Hopkins. He's one of those players that always seems to have time on the ball, which is the sign of a really good player. He got that lovely dink kick to him, but just turned onto his left foot and a sweet strike over the bar.
So here come Roscommon again. Jonathan Conroy has done really well since moving into goal following that injury to David Hussey earlier on. Again, the Rossies win the break. Kilbride is over there on the far side, and Roscommon have the free. You would think they're still fairly happy with the position they're in, Roscommon?
I don't think either side will be. Neither side will be overly happy, or they both know they're in the game, and this was always going to come down to the wire. They'll probably make liars of us now. One of them will kick on and get a couple of goals, but they'll both be happy. They're both in the game. They have fellas playing well. They've no major concerns either side at the minute. They're still finding each other out, but it's such a fascinating battle, and both sides playing good ball out there.
Yeah, they really are. It's been a really enjoyable encounter so far. I presume we'll have a couple of minutes of added time. We had a couple of stoppages in the first half for various bits and pieces as Kilbride comes forward, then went to have a shot but didn't connect, and Mayo have defended that well.
He seemed to try to kick the ball there through Sean Lenahan. Lenahan wasn't going to get out of the way, but you could see with him there is a threat. When he picks up the ball there in Kilbride, he's so fast and athletic. He's got the ability to evade challenges and drive at goal.
Away go Mayo again. Can they level things up, maybe even take the lead before half time? Fine ball forward from Pat Mulcrone to Michael Moyles. Moyles rides one challenge and then gets the ball away. Mayo probing for another score. Moyles forward to Mike Gallagher. A little bit isolated down in that right hand corner again. Can he work her free from here maybe? Comes back outside. Picked up by Davy Keane. Coming on the loop is Jarlath McDonough. Mayo having to be patient. Roscommon getting the bodies back now. Picked up by Sean Lenahan. Lovely show and goal from Dermot Moyles. Michael Moyles picks it up now, back to Dermot Moyles again. Lovely dummy, but the shot at the end of it all is off target.
And for the green and red there, everything about that patch of football was brilliant until the finish. They drew Roscommon out, they got a runner, they saw one man overshoot the runway. And he's had a great game so far. Brian Higgins missed the challenge there. They had that chance, that overlap. Just the finish was all that was needed there at the end of it.
So Roscommon still retained that 1 point advantage. Another kick out for Jonathan Conroy again. It goes long. Break again, won by Roscommon. They've really cleaned up on breaks in this first half. Here they go on the attack again, moving it in quickly. Out in front is Ronan Cox. Cox looking to spin away from the challenge. Can he kick it here? Oh, that is brilliant football from Roscommon. Absolutely superb. And Ronan Cox at the end of it. What a classy footballer.
Classy footballer, but brilliant football from the kick out. Textbook stuff. Get the ball up over the big man, Brian Higgins. He had a great leap in the air. Didn't try to catch it, broke it down, moved the ball quick. And once it goes into Ronan Cox, you're isolated one-on-one in there. There isn't much hope for the fullback. A point probably isn't a bad result if you're stuck in there one-on-one, call.
So 8 points to 6 to Roscommon at half time. Ronan Cox has kicked 4 of them for them in the first half. Terence Kelly with 2 from play as well. Mayo responding with a number of decent scores at the other end. Paddy Hopkins has kicked 3 points, 2 of them from play. But the Rossies lead by 2 at half time. They'll have that little bit of a breeze in the second half, Con, as well, and they're in a good position here.
They're in a really good position. Both sides playing excellent football. Hard to pick a winner from here. You would, like, Mayo butchered the goal. Well, not butchered it. It was a great save in fairness by Johnny Connery. They had the most clear-cut goal chance, let's say. But there's goals on that Roscommon side as well, and in a tight game like this, a goal would be a massive score.
It certainly would. Well, Roscommon have that 2-point advantage at the break. We'll bring you a full second half coverage as well very shortly indeed. But at half time, the players now just taking on board some fluids. It is a very warm afternoon as well, and both teams have the benefit of quite significant benches as well. But let's get some half-time reaction and analysis now with Angelina. She's out on the field.
I'm not sure Brian Carroll was going to join in at one stage. I'm joking, but Brian, listen, thank you so much for joining us, Chairperson for Roscommon County Board. Listen, we were talking about the wonderful facilities here at St. Crone's and hosting really lively games today.
Yeah, no, it's a credit. The grounds here is top class. The club here have done massive work over the last number of years. This pitch we're standing on here is one of the best in the county, and as you see, there's massive work going on behind the dugouts or the dressing rooms over there. So no, it's a credit to them. They've done huge work here. All the lads, Tommy and everyone involved in the club here, they're doing massive work, and it's paying fruits for them. They're getting these kind of games, and you can see yourself, there's a great atmosphere around here today, and everything is looked after very well.
We had a really exciting tie between Cavan and Sligo earlier. Mayo and Roscommon always serves up at the local rivalry. The crowd come out for it 8-6 at half time, so all to play for, Brian.
It is all to play for, yeah, and there seems to be a bit of a win there as well. There seems to be favouring Roscommon, I'd say, in the second half slightly, but no, Roscommon are taking their scores very well. Ronan Cox and them lads inside, they're on fire, and the whole team is playing very, very well, so it's a good first half for them.
It absolutely is. I know you're deep into Roscommon Club Championship football as well, so it's a busy time for the board.
It is, yeah, it's busy. The club championship now we're down to quarter-final stage at senior, and we're nearly there at intermediate. It's a playoff game this evening, so we'll have the draw tomorrow, and juniors the same. We're waiting on the playoff as well to finalise the draw for the quarter-final. So yeah, no, it's hotting up now. We're down to the last 8 in all the competition, so looking forward to a good knockout game. So far the games have been very good. It's good to get back into it, and you can see the standard of club football has been very good so far.
Look, I know you're never idle anyway, Brian. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks. Brian Carroll from the Roscommon County Board, and I think we'll have a word with Kevin Egan shortly as well. He's due to make his way over Cahill, but we'll hand it back to you for the moment.
To Brian Carroll for joining us as well at half time here on our coverage. Roscommon leading Mayo by 8 points to 6. In terms of the second half, Con O'Mara, in terms of approach from Mayo, do you expect them to change anything here now they're playing into a slight breeze?
Not so much from the first game. I know that we probably overestimated that the breeze was going to have a big impact, but we found you were able to kick ball and kick scores even down into the other goals. I'm not sure that they'll change things up all that much. It'll just be the usual stuff. They'll get their matchups a bit better. They might look to drop somebody back to help out in front of Ronan Cox if Mayo are using that route. But isn't it fantastic to see Brian Carroll, the Roscommon County Board chairman, here today, and it just shows the warming of relations between the GA and the Masters over the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can get some more half-time analysis now. I think Angelina has got Kevin Egan out there on the field.
Egan is here with us as well. He's a busy man because I think he's telling Midwest to hang on while he does the live stream. He's prioritising that, so I appreciate that. Kevin, listen, look, a well-contested first half. That's what we expected.
Yeah, very enjoyable. Look, I mean, the game in Swinford was very tight between them. I know there's a few personnel changes since then. But no, very, very competitive. It has to be said, I'd say Roscommon will be happy. Like, the breeze is sharp enough going down the ground here. And there's shooters on the Roscommon side. You look at the likes of some of the points from Terence Kelly and Dermot Foley. That we haven't seen that as much from Mayo so far. Paddy Hopkins got into the game very well, of course. But no, you'd have to say it's slight advantage Roscommon, but goal chances both ends too.
Yeah, and we saw that in the first game where, you know, it looked like, I know Cavan went out in the end very much in control at half time. Sligo got themselves back into it. So really, and it's when you're out here, you realise how sharp the breeze is.
Yeah, though in that occasion, both sides did better into the breeze. You know, whether it was a case of drawn out defences that little bit more or whatever it was, you know, Cavan 9-6 up at half time, having played against it. So, yeah, look, you wouldn't say it's going to absolutely decide the game, certainly not. But at the same time, you know, you just would wonder a little bit more in terms of Mayo where the scores are going to come from. They don't look like they have as many options to score from play up there, and that's really what they're going to look at fixing at half time, I'd imagine.
Yeah, as you said, a couple of really big scores there, like Ronan Cox is playing some super stuff there. We've had great scores come from Terence Kelly as well. So the Roscommon scores are on form, well, in the first half at least.
Yeah, I was chatting to Stuart there of the Western People up above, and I was just like, I think where there is a little bit of an advantage shown through is I'd say there's more guys on the Roscommon side still dogging it out at intermediate or maybe good junior A level. I don't know if Mayo has that. I mean, certainly you can see it in Dermot Foley here at midfield. He's controlling the game. Like, he's still the dominant influence for Kilmore. You know, they have a big game against St Aidan's, Terence Kelly's club, on Tuesday night in a relegation playoff. So just, you know, keeping it up at that higher level. It's easy to look at the team sheet and you look at the guys that maybe played inter-county 10 years ago or 15 years ago or something like that. But the guys that are still keeping it going at a decent club level is showing through here this afternoon. And you know, that to me looks like it's been a factor anyway.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting second half. We'll let you get back to your radio reports, Kevin. Lovely to talk to you. Kevin Egan there. And you'll catch Kevin, of course, on some of the live stream for Roscommon GA as well. I know Brian was giving him some heads up there on some of the games next weekend. Cathal, we'll go back to you for the moment.
Angelina, thank you very much indeed, and to Kevin as well. So almost set to go now for the second half here. The Mayo players just making their way to their positions. The Roscommon players doing likewise as well. How much of a change, Con, do you think we'll see in terms of personnel changes now as the second half wears on, with both teams obviously with lots of potential from the bench as well?
They do, yeah, and they've been using it with the Masters, of course. You've got the roll-on, roll-off subs. Mayo look to be using it better in the first half, giving guys, you know, 10 minutes, busting themselves and changing up a little bit. That might tell coming down the stretch as well. You know, legs might tie up a bit. There wasn't as much switching going on with Roscommon, but I think that Kevin Egan made a great point there, that fellas who were playing, you look through the team sheets looking for the star names from well, he was saying 10 or 15 years ago, that was being nice. I think it'll be 20 years and more ago. Those aren't the guys often that are going to make the big difference. Now, having said that, you look at Tyrone with their Stevie O'Neills, and they have a list of guys with a bucket full of All-Ireland senior medals, Conor Gormley and so on and so forth. But it is the guy that's in good nick, that's still playing club football, that's getting the good training in during the week. But again, there's place in Masters for everybody. There's guys in the panel here that might only get a minute or two, and they're delighted to get the chance to be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of football at this level. And we're almost set to go now for the second half. The players are ready to go. Michael Duffy, our referee, is ready as well. And Roscommon taking that 2-point lead into the second half of this plate final. If you're just joining us, Cavan beat Sligo by a point in the first game of the day. It finished Cavan 14 points, Sligo a goal and 10 in a cracking Challenge Cup final. Sligo came storming back into it in the second half. And next week, it's the big one between the two big sides in the Tier 1 final. Kerry and Tyrone squaring off next Saturday afternoon. And as Con referenced there, some big names set to be on show in that encounter. But now, all our focus on the plate final as Michael Moyles and Dermot Foley square up here for the throw-in. Sean Lenihan and Brian Higgins in there as well. And away we go for the second half. Roscommon playing from right to left with the aid of a slight breeze. And now the free for Brian Higgins going route one. No surprise after a good first half for Ronan Cox in there. This time Mayo have plenty of bodies back there in green and red jerseys to try and sort out the situation. Comes inside to Cullum Cafferty now. And now Daniel Bresnan picks it up. Bresnan looking for a ball forward. Finds one to John Riley. Cafferty has continued his foray through the middle. Riley showing some good feet here. Now trying to round the challenge. It's opening up here for Mayo. Cafferty still in space. Riley has opted to hang on to it. Then plays the pass inside. There could be a goal on here for Mayo. Cafferty's inside. Here's the chance. Big opportunity. Oh, has it found its way in? It has. Cafferty was in there, and Michael McNamara, well, it's not a goal that's going to make the highlights reel at the end of a goal of the season competition, but it's over the line, and Mayo have a huge score at the start of the second half.
That was a super start for Mayo. You'd have to hold your hat off to, if you had one, to John Riley there, because he was coming up the line here. It didn't look like there was anything on. He put on the afterburners, created that gap, drew players towards him, and in the end, I think it might have been Lee McDonald, was it, that finished at the 21? It was scrappy looking. Player went around the goalkeeper was beaten, and whatever happened in between that, it looked like they were going to miss an open goal chance, but Lee McDonald got in to finish it, and that's a massive lift for Mayo at the start of the second half.
Yeah, credit to John Riley, because it didn't look like there was anything really on when he took up possession initially, but made a great foray forward, and Mayo now lead as that ball goes down. Michael Moyles has picked up the break.
Angelina here is very slow to give, or not slow to get the goal in for Mayo, but the Crones scoreboard took a good while to put it up. They didn't want to believe it was going to be given.
Well, the ball has been gathered back there, it looks like, by Roscommon, the cornerback, Michael McNamara, all the way back there. Some good defending from Roscommon, but going to be interesting to see now how they respond to the concession of that goal so early in the second half. Mayo now leading by a point. Roscommon having to try and weave their way past the challenge of Liam Heaney on the far side. Here comes the run from Adrian Frayne. Gets past one challenge, and now the space on this near side of the field should Roscommon work it across to here. Ian Kilbride has gone into a more central position. Seamus Keane with Paul Kelly for support. Mayo clogging up that area just inside their own 45-metre line. Brian Higgins finds Ronan Cox. Back to Higgins again. You can see two players back there marshalling the Roscommon player inside in the full forward line. That's currently Terence Kelly. He's come out a little bit now, and Ronan Cox has gone into the edge of the square. Meantime, the Rossies hanging on to it just outside the 45-metre line, but they're not making much headway just yet. They have to be patient. Dermot Foley tries to inject some purpose into this particular attack. It's found its way to Terence Kelly. Foley has continued his run. The captain is inside again, and he's got the free. What wonderful leadership from Dermot Foley. It looked like there wasn't a whole lot going to happen from that particular Roscommon attack, but they kept their composure, and Foley made the decisive incision and wins the free.
Brilliant by Dermot Foley. Lucky enough to have worked with him in Kilmore. It could be 15 years ago now. He was down there, and he was, such a trier, such a warrior. If there's a ball down there, some people wouldn't put a stick in near it. He's diving in on top of it, head and hands, and he's an all-action player. And as Kevin Egan picked him out at half-time, he's been fantastic there. The amount of work he's putting in, going both ways, forward and back. You often see at Masters, there's guys get an extra boost of energy when the ball is up in the forward line. They'll make a run, but Dermot can be guaranteed he'll do the same thing if there's cover needed at the back.
Yeah, he won the free, and Mayo concede the points, so the Rossies back on level terms. 9 points to 1-6. Kick out goes long from Mayo. Well, it looked like they had gathered in the middle. Michael McNamara had got hands on it. Here comes a route one ball in again from Roscommon. Cox is in, battling for it, and you know what? He's almost won it as well. He had two defenders for company. That ball has gone wide. Good defending.
And you'd be an advocate of the long ball in, but that can sometimes happen when you have the win. Let's let the ball in long. From a Roscommon point of view, you'd prefer if there was better judgment about when they would do that. That was never going to be a ball to favour a forward.
Sean Lenihan just had a little bit of trouble gathering that initial ball out, but now Mayo have the free inside their own 45. It goes short to Colm Cafferty now. This plate final very finely poised in the early stages of this second half. Mayo with the goal just after the resumption, pulling themselves back into the game, having trailed by 2 at the break. They're going to bring in a sub in just a second. Brian Henley is ready to come in wearing number 6 meantime. Ball works its way to the far side. Mike Gallagher has come out from full forward to have a run here at Anthony McDermott. It's McDermott, though, who sticks to his task well to win it back for Roscommon. Conor Byrne threads it forward. Good ball out in front of Terence Kelly. Kelly is getting his head up, looking for a ball inside. He's found a good one as well, just the hop deceiving Jerry Leish there, but it might still work out for Roscommon. Long range effort coming in. What a fine score that is from the man wearing number 22, Seamus Keane, with a great kick, and Roscommon lead again by a point.
Super score from Seamus Keane. It looked like the chance was gone there. As you said, the bounce, it just hit it. It didn't look like it was going to bounce that high with the kick pass that came in. Bounced up over the head, but Seamus Keane picked up the pieces and stroked over a beautiful score.
Michael Moyles takes it in the middle for Mayo. Sets the corner forward, Jarlath McDonough on the attack here. There's one man in on the edge of the square, but McDonough is going to carry it all the way. and he should score from here. And Jarlath McDonough does score from there, his second point of the match. And Mayo restore the parity here again.
Simple football, great take by Michael Moyles, leaves the ball go on, and he's coming off to get his breather here now after that great take. Passes it on to Jarlath McDonough. As he went running at the Roscommon defence, they backed off, and that allowed him in right into the D and straight over the bar.
Long kick out from Jonathan Conroy. This time though Mayo win it. We haven't said that too often in this game, and now they go on the attack. Mayo, they've got runners left and right. John Riley's through the middle. Patrick Patton just turning back outside. In fact, that's Tom Colleran. Now it's with John Riley. Riley has had a big impact so far. That's a lovely ball inside. Can Mayo make this count? It's picked up by Paddy Hopkins. 3 points already. Can he make it 4? Paddy Hopkins off the right boot. Unable to find the target on this occasion.
You were asking about subs and bring them on and off. You can see two of the better Mayo players are getting their breather on the sideline now. Michael Gallagher, the full forward, I know he great dispossession by Anthony McDermott in the last passage of play, but he's a really good footballer. And Michael Moyles, who has a big impact on the game, and his passing can unlock defences. But you have the option there to give those guys 5 or 10 minutes, get some water on board, and use them for a big push again at the end.
Yeah, that looks like what Mayo are trying to do. Again, that kick out bounced over a couple of players. Eventually Roscommon get a hold of it. They've done so well off break ball in this game. It's picked up by Paul Kelly. Mayo applying some good pressure around the middle, but Roscommon have it back again. Seamus Keane, after kicking that good point a few moments ago, is fouled. Daniel Breslin, it looks like, was the man to commit the offence, and Roscommon will have the chance from the free, and Ronan Cox will have a chance to kick a 6th score of this game for himself.
Seamus Keane has had a good impact on his introduction there for Roscommon. Big, strong man, broad-shouldered man. You can see when he got that ball there, he's one of those players that will take a shoulder, and once you get inside the defender there, if they try a tackle, it's going to end up in a free.
Here is Ronan Cox.
Oh, beautiful.
Has he found the range? He has. Ronan Cox is having a really good afternoon in front of the post, and Roscommon lead again, 11 points to 1-7.
And again, at any level, it's great comfort to have a player like that. When you get a free inside the 45, you can nearly write it down because his free taking and striking of the ball is just impeccable.
Long kick out towards the middle of the field again. This time Mayo in there to sweep up the break, and they've got it now with Tom Colleran. He's looking up for a ball inside. It's one-on-one inside in there, but Mayo opt to play it short instead. John Riley is starting to take things around the middle third. Good man to try and pick a pass. Riley passed a couple of challenges, now sets up the opportunity. McNamara through the middle. All came from the really good industry from John Riley. And Mayo have a free and a good chance to level things up again.
And one of those that had fallen under the category of a good free, I would suggest, because he was breaking through there, McNamara. He was going right into the middle of the goals. There would have been options left and right. A point isn't a bad result for Roscommon from that attack.
So here's the chance now from the free in the 10th minute of the second half here at St. Crone's J Club. Kicked over by Paddy Hopkins, his 4th point of the day. And Mayo level things up once again, 1-8 to 11 points.
Mayo much busier on the sideline with subs running on and off. You see Pat Mulcone has come off there, and he's let John McDonough, who started the game, back in there. So again, smart by the Mayo line to keep guys fresh at different patches. You can go on and really burst yourself for 10 minutes. Sometimes it can destroy your momentum, but it doesn't seem to be having that effect on them today.
Great hands from the Roscommon centre forward Conor Byrne to claim that kick out. Oh, that's good hands as well. Kilbride has got it now. Ball inside. This is really good from Roscommon. Well, Cox had just spilled away from him at the first time of asking. Now, can he get enough on that to find the range? Was just under a little bit of pressure as he kicked that one. And Mayo now coming out from the back again. Sean Lenihan dishing that one off. John Riley met by a couple of challenges and has to turn back. So we're coming in now to the crucial final 20 minutes in this plate final. It's all square. Roscommon led by 2 at the break, but Mayo with a goal shortly after half time. Roscommon have turned this ball over, and Mayo wide open at the back. This is Cox. Surely he'll score from here. Oh, what a brilliant save. Kieran O'Malley. Maybe Cox had too much time. Found himself in acres of space, and he's wondering how he hasn't scored.
Yeah, the whole Roscommon panel in front of us is wondering how he didn't. If there was a man you were going to give it to with a one-on-one that close into goals, brilliant turnover in the middle. Cox free inside, you'd have put your house on him. But again, that man has come in, Jonathan Conroy, came in unfortunate circumstances for David Hussey. That was a brilliant save. It seemed to be the backside that saved Roscommon there, that saved their bacon.
Well, if Mayo go on to win, that will be a huge moment. You feel Kieran O'Malley with a wonderful stop to deny Ronan Cox. Now, can Roscommon come away with the score? 45 to be taken by John McKell. Kicked a good one off the ground in the first half. This one certainly won't have the accuracy. Has the distance to get into that goalmouth area. Cox kept it in play, but Mayo sweep up the break, and now they go on the counter. Surely they'll be boosted by that fine save from their goalkeeper. Roscommon are going to bring in David Scahill in just a second.
Of course, I'm mixing up goalkeepers there. That's the Mayo goalkeeper that saved the blushes there. He's been in there from the whole way through. Super save from him. And his kickouts too have been excellent the whole way.
Yellow card being dished out there to a Roscommon player by Michael Duffy. And the free for Mayo all the way back inside their own half. Taken quickly by Pat Mulcrone. He's continued his run. Just about gets the hand pass forward despite the efforts of Conor Byrne. Players diving in here. Well, it's quite cagey now. Both teams know the significance of the next 20 minutes. Foley has picked up a good spot there to sweep up a rather loose ball forward for Mayo, and now it's Roscommon emerging with it. David Scahill to Foley again.
And you're right, Carl, there. The quality has dropped a little bit. I think there's a tension. It is this close after so long. Nobody wants to be the player that's going to make that mistake. We're not seeing the free-flowing football that we maybe experienced in the first half and at the start of the second half, but that can change very quickly too.
Kilbride drives the ball in. It's a good ball as well. Ronan Cox is in there. 2 defenders for company. He's got a man off the shoulder there. He's trying to find the score. What a brilliant point from Ronan Cox. Kilbride continued his run through. But that's some score under so much pressure. Ronan Cox, 7th point of the day.
Just as I'm saying, there isn't flowing football in Kilbride. Hits a peach of a pass. You could see it as it left his boot that Ronan Cox had. He had a couple of yards space on the inside line. Took it very well. It still had a lot to do when he got it. But a great score for him to put Roscommon back into the lead.
So Roscommon, that point in front, 12 points to 1-8. This time the Mayo kick out doesn't quite go to plan, and Roscommon have got the line ball. Player in space there. That ball maybe just didn't come quick enough. Pat Mulcrone was able to get across to Brian Higgins, but it's another Roscommon line ball. Mulcrone, you can just see off your picture, is going back to fill that space in front of Cox, just in the Roscommon full forward line. Here come the Rossies though. Off the shoulder is Foley making that dart. Kicked a great score in the first half. They'll have to try and work it out from this corner. Cox has made his way across. Plays it inside. Lots of Roscommon players coming. One of them is Kilbride if they can get it to him. Here is Kilbride, and he's straight down the heart of that Mayo defence. Kilbride for goal. It's well off target in the end. Well, Roscommon have had 2 good goal chances now, and they haven't converted either of them.
You could see when he got that burst of pace got him into the bit of an area where he could strike for a goal. Declan Doyle though got into his eye line, just made it that bit more difficult on him. But Kilbride, we can see him coming off here. He'd be disappointed he didn't put that on target.
So water break is called midway through this second half in the played final. Roscommon edging it by 12 points to 1-8. And they've responded fairly well to conceding that goal just after half time. Yeah, they have done. Mayo didn't really kick on from that. You were thinking that it could have changed the whole pattern of the game, but they battled their way back in. Dermot Foley again was involved in that move. He's given them loads going forward there. He's just taking a ball into space, popping a ball in over the top, and you could see Roscommon create more goal chances as this game goes into the last quarter, because at all levels as well, you get tired coming into the last quarter. You could argue, especially so at Masters level. You just wonder the impact on the Roscommon morale, maybe, that they haven't converted those 2 goal chances. Might it come back to haunt them, you wonder? Yeah, I'm sure Anthony Carroll is saying, though, guys, we're on the front foot here. We're making the chances. Let's just settle down and take them.
they do look, when they start to move the ball, they move it very well. And that inside threat of Ronan Cox, he's been brilliant. Terence Kelly has been quieting down a little bit in the second half here, but again, you can't discount him. He's another player that can just light up when you need him. On the other side, John Riley has made a couple of great forays for Mayo that have asked questions of the Roscommon back line, and you know we saw the goal that they already got. Again, a goal would be huge, you know, in such a tight game coming into the last 15 minutes. A goal here could really give a lift to either side.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Players almost set to go now for the last quarter of this plate final. We'll resume with a Mayo kick out away to our left hand side.
And it's going to be tense, Carl, but wouldn't you love if there's a couple of early scores in this quarter to really liven it up and get the crowd going?
Yeah, and it really is tense, isn't it? The atmosphere maybe is quieting down a little bit because everyone knows the significance of the next 20 minutes or so.
And last year, Mayo were in this plate final and they lost by a point to Cavan in a really tight game as well, one that they had a chance towards the end to put it to extra time that they missed. So I'm sure that could give them that extra bit of drive to make sure it doesn't happen 2 years in a row.
Here come Mayo. They've got the break from the kick out. Well, the competitive juice is certainly flowing for both of these teams, and such a huge rivalry between Mayo and Roscommon over the years at all levels. That's a good looking ball inside, maybe asking a little bit much of the man racing out to try and get control of it, Paddy Hopkins. Maybe wanted that at one bouncing in front of him.
Yeah, Paddy is a guy, he was one-on-one in there, and the kick pass was just a little too central. If it was out to the side, you'd fancy him to get it, and when he gets it, we know that he's accurate.
Ball gathered for Roscommon by Seamus Keane, met by the challenge. It's a free for Roscommon. They lead by a point, and there's the run again of Ronan Cox, 7 points already. Mayo just can't keep tabs on him, but this time he's struggling to get control of the ball. Eventually does, comes back outside now as far as John McHale. Roscommon would just love to keep the scoreboard ticking, just to keep that advantage. Dermot Foley's shouting for it there in the middle. Instead, David Scahill hangs onto it and plays it around. Roscommon so composed in possession. It's with John McHale again. He's going to take on the shot. I think that's a good kick.
What a kick.
What a score from John McHale. He liked it straight for the moment that it left his right boot. And that pushes Roscommon 2 in front, 13 points to 1-8 with 14 minutes left to go.
When he got that ball there, I was thinking he was going to keep it coming out here to the left wing in front of us where Ian Kilbride had positioned himself, and he was probably, you know, setting himself up to put the foot down and go straight at goal. But to turn inside and strike, what a sweet strike that was over the bar.
Great score. We've been delivered some teas and coffees for the second time today. Brilliant service from St. Crohn's. We'll be back. Con, you'll have to bring us back here at some point. Big hit there in the middle.
They've been fantastic, and you know, they chatting with the people working in where they're serving the tea and all that. They really are proud to have their grounds here used, and delighted, I'm sure, to hear the compliments that everybody has given them for how they've run things today and the quality of the pitch out here.
Yeah, fine facility, and another pitch in the offing there on the far side of the clubhouse as well, with work ongoing. So thanks to everybody here at St. Crohn's for all their help so far today, but still a little way to go before this plate final is resolved. Roscommon leading by 2, 13 to 1-8. Roscommon on the attack again now. Just managing possession well, aren't they? They're very composed on possession on the ball, working it from side to side.
And you get the feeling the next score is huge. If they can push out to a 3-point lead there, that might give them that bit of space to even kick on further.
Ball back outside to Adrian Frayne. David Delaney plays it down. Kilbride has had a big impact on this game and plays it inside to Brian Higgins here. Well, you could see what he's trying to do off the outside of the right, but doesn't quite catch it.
He was going for a John McHale there, but not the same execution. And down the other side, we see that the man that we've been on about being a danger, John Riley, has positioned himself in on the edge of the square.
Is there a way back here for Mayo? Still plenty of time, but they'd love a score, wouldn't they? Just a point just to get things motoring again down the other end of the field.
Their Roscommon energy is very good. There's nothing easy coming out of there. They have to work so hard to get out over the halfway line.
Mike Gallagher's all the way back there wearing number 14, but this is what Mayo need, carrying the ball up with real purpose. I think he's hurt something. There's Michael Moyles now, past 3 challenges. Moyles still going. Gets the ball away. John Riley's inside. There were a couple of subs racing on there. I think
Over-eager.
Had the 18 players on the field there at one point, but the 3 of them have made their way off. Michael Moyles having a go here. That looks good
It's a
from
great
here.
score, lads.
That looked close from.
That was over.
Well,
yeah, it's given. I don't know what.
Well, I think there's just some indecision here. I think Michael Duffy says that that's wide.
Oh, that looked over the bar from here. Martin McHugh is in behind the goals. He's in a good position, but that looked to be over from here, Carl. I don't know what you thought.
It looked like a good kick, but one umpire said it was wide, one said over. Perhaps I'm not sure if the linesman got a look at it, but it is a wide ball.
The ref went with the man that was in the better position. There's an argument going on at the back between the 2 umpires.
Away we go again. Break in the middle. Mayo have got it. They've got a free as well, it looks like. So just 11 minutes left to go. I think, is that Ian Kilbride that's being spoken to there? No, in fact, it's Brian Higgins. And it will be a Mayo free. And a yellow card for Brian Higgins of Elphin. So Mayo now have the chance from this free to set up another attack, but as Con says, that Roscommon defensive looked very, very solid so far. Mayo not getting much change out of it. There is Ian Kilbride, just a little bit too eager to try and get a hand on that one. He's given away the free. Now is this one kickable for maybe John Riley?
Yeah, you can see there with Ian Kilbride, just, you know, he went for the ball all right, but he didn't get there and came through the Mayo players. So this is a huge kick now, because to bring it back to a 1-point game would really set us up.
Ian Kilbride has got a yellow card as well for his troubles now. Mayo have the free. They're going to go short. Well, lots of space here. Roscommon just switching off a little bit. Can Mayo get the score? They need it, and they've got it. It's from their midfielder, Sean Linehan. Roscommon just switched off at the crucial moment there to leave Linehan in a little bit of space, and it's a 1-point game again. Roscommon 13 points, Mayo 1-9.
And a lovely little dummy bounce by him to bring him into the space there. Still had a bit to do. I know he was straight in front of the goal, but that can be a tough kick to execute. But, you know, great confidence, kept the head down and kicked up through it. It'd be really interesting to see if Mayo get the next score here. It'll tighten all up.
It really is finely poised. Conroy drives it down the middle of the field. Mayo win the break. They've got a little bit of momentum now, perhaps. The visitors here. Michael Moyles is fouled. 3 Roscommon players having a go. And Mayo have the free. Cafferty picks it up. Foley still battling hard for Roscommon. Can Mayo find a way through to level things up? Cafferty had a big role in the goal earlier on. Both players collide there, but Roscommon win it back. Now, can they hurt Mayo down the other end here? Having turned that ball over, that's a foul.
He'll be in trouble here. He's a trailing foot there, I thought, from John McDonough.
And he's on a yellow card, I think,
yeah.
Con. That's, I think, Michael Duffy telling him that's the last one.
The
Next
yellow
one, you're
card he
gone.
was on probably saved him there, I would think. Yeah, he'd be happy enough with that. We could see back here behind the play Brian Higgins, who made that vital interception when Mayo looked like they were going to cut inside and go at goal. He made the interception there that turned the ball over, but he's back on his feet again.
Yeah, no surprise to see John McDonough take it off there now, because I think next foul and he was gone. But away go Roscommon again. 8 minutes to go. They lead by a point, but you feel like there's another twist or two in this plate final. Cavan taking the first silverware of the afternoon here at St. Crohn's with their win over Sligo in the Challenge Cup final by a single point, and it looks like it could be a point or two to decide this one as well in the plate decider. Dermot Foley is having a brilliant match. Now, can he finish this with a score? Dermot Foley, he's looking for the 45, and I don't think he's going to get it.
No, I don't think so. And he is an honest player, but you couldn't blame him for trying to get a 45 there that wasn't warranted. He's had some game. The engine on that man is unbelievable.
Outstanding,
fantastic.
Yeah. Really, really good for Roscommon in the middle.
He's caught ball. He's been involved at the back, interceptions, giving good ball inside. He's got a good score to his name, won a vital free.
Yeah, he's done it all, and he'll be hoping to lift the silverware in a few minutes' time. But as I say, still a long, long way to go. Mayo looking to level things up here. That's a useful looking ball forward. Good intervention from the cornerback, Michael McNamara, but Mayo still on the attack. The foul committed, and here's the chance now with the free. John Riley's looking to go short. Does go short again. Sean Leanahan's the free man. He got the score the last time. Michael Moyles. Lovely ball from
Great
Moyles.
ball.
And here come Mayo again. It's Leanahan inside. This two level it up. Can Mayo get the equaliser? They can. Mayo 110, Roscommon 13 points. Sean Leanahan with his second point in as many minutes.
And he's a man that's really grown into the game with those couple of points, and he's available all the time for those short frees. When it came to Michael Moyles there out in the 45, and you know him well, Carl, I was waiting for him to wind up to go for the big kick, but a brilliant hand pass by him into Leanahan to free him up for that score.
So can Roscommon now move in front again? Foley matched by Moyles in the middle. Foley gets away from the challenge. And now Roscommon attacking with John McHale, driving it in to that full forward line. Some space here. Mayo have bodies back there, but Terence Kelly has managed to find a yard or two. Cox is coming out to help him. Now the Mayo defence has set up its shape, and Dermot Foley has got it now. Difficult angle here for anyone trying to take on a shot. They have to try and be composed. Every possession now is crucial with the game level, with just over 5 left to play. Ian Kilbride shifting the play across to this near side, picked up by Adrian Frayne. Anthony McDermott bringing it inside, the full back. Plays it towards the run of John McHale. He'll just about keep this one on the field. Has to surely come back out around when he plays a ball across. Ambitious one. Hasn't quite come off, and Mayo turn it over. They certainly have the momentum now, Mayo. Roscommon, having led for so long in this game, under real pressure now. Michael Moyles shifts it out as far as Liam Heaney. There's only one player in the full forward line. John Riley, it looks like, is the man in there. Oh, there's a hefty hit.
He's in trouble there now. Seamus Keane.
Seamus Keane, yeah.
He's not going to get away with that one. He left the elbow out there. You don't like to see that.
Just as the Mayo player cut inside, and you wouldn't be surprised to see a red card flashed here in the direction of Seamus Keane. He's arguing the case. Michael Duffy's having a good word with him.
Well, getting talk out of the ref was usually yellow card, yeah. From previous experience, Cathal, it's when they won't answer any questions that the colour can be red. But that was, he couldn't have argued if he got a red card there. There was a trailing elbow. And Mayo, Mayo were on the attack. If he cut inside there, he'd open space in front of him. So they won't be overly happy with the outcome of that one.
Yeah, I think Mayo thought that should have been a red, but Michael Duffy opting for the yellow.
And in fairness to Seamus Keane, it was a split-second thing. He came for a challenge. He didn't want to let the man inside him, the elbow lifted, but he can count himself lucky.
Now Mayo have the free. Michael Moyles has the ball in hand. He's just waiting for Michael Duffy to restart things here.
Riley is free inside, is he?
Oh, he drives that one in, Michael Moyles. That looks like a good ball as well. Pretty important touch on that one from Anthony McDermott. Not quite sure how much he knew about it because his back was to the ball. But that little touch just took it out of the path of the Mayo attacker. And Roscommon win the break and win it back.
He did brilliantly well. When it left Michael Moyles' boot, it looked for all the world like Michael McNamara was going to gather it inside.
Roscommon now working it from the back. Foley takes a hold of possession. Is there a winner in this game? Is there another score for either of these sides? Michael McNamara was under pressure there. It's a free for Roscommon. They had the advantage. Now, here they go down the stand side of the field. Quite a large crowd in here, roaring on either side as we head for the closing decisive moments of this Masters Plate final for 2023. Roscommon working it through the hands. Is there a winner in this for the home side? Kilbride is just pointing inside. He wants to try and pick a pass. Still, Kilbride holds on to possession, still looking for a ball. Finds it in. Oh, two Roscommon players getting each other's way. I think Terence Kelly wanted that ball. Hasn't gone out off the park just yet, and Roscommon have pushed right up here. Cox in there, Kelly as well. That's a let-off for Mayo.
Big let-off for Mayo because it looked like there was a great chance on it. Mayo really have a bit of bite about them now. They're moving the ball nicely forward again.
Played by Jarlath McDonough. Cushions a lovely ball down. There's players coming through the middle. Oh, then two Mayo players getting each other's way, but they're fortunate to get away with it this time. They've got the free. Now Michael Moyles has got it on the far side. Michael Moyles coming back out to Jarlath McDonough. Moyles might have a go here now off that trusty left boot, but Mayo have got the free. They've worked that one well.
couple of lazy challenges there from Roscommon. I know that they're giving out that they weren't frees, but they were. When you come in late like that and finish through a player, you don't give the referee much choice. This one to put Mayo into the lead. But the last couple they've had from around the same position, Cathal, they've kicked short, and it'll be interesting to see will Sean Lenihan free himself up again to be the receiver, and he is there again.
He is there free, just on the edge of the D. But it looks like Mayo are going to go for this one. Well, a score now might win it for them with just 90 seconds left to play.
And with Paddy Hopkins is the man that's going to kick.
Oh, he struck that one well. I think he likes it. And Mayo have got the score.
Great score.
Paddy Hopkins, that's his 5th point of the match, and Mayo hit the front just at the right time. 111 to 13 points. Well, having trailed for so long in this game, Mayo down the closing straight have nudged in front, but Roscommon are still alive. Big leap in the middle from Brian Higgins. Big collision too.
I think that's Michael Moyles down, and again he was just trying to come across to disrupt, but Brian Higgins was in the air. I think caught him in the back, and there's a Roscommon man down as well.
Michael Moyles is down, yeah.
Wholehearted going for the ball.
Roscommon player as well. Brian Higgins is back up on his feet. But you would imagine we'll have a few minutes of added time, so there is time for Roscommon to get an equaliser here.
Yeah, Roscommon, their forward play has been so good at times, but their last number of attacks, they've just fluffed their lines when they've been winning 30 metres. A couple of times, if you think back to the one where you had 2 players colliding with each other, not gathering it the first time. There's a good ball into Terence Kelly that he was looking to take it for a mark, but as he was nearly catching it to put the hand up, he spilt it and they didn't get anything out of that. So they need to work it in. You wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be again a Dermot Foley or a Kilbride coming from late that's going to win them a free maybe to get them back into this.
So Roscommon will have the ball in the middle when we resume. I think they're just asking about added time there in terms of how long might be left. But they look like they've put Brian Higgins inside into the full forward line, Roscommon. Kilbride goes short with the free. But Mayo now trying to hang on here to this 1-point lead. We've gone past the 60-minute mark. Mayo flooding bodies back. Ball has come out to Dermot Foley. There's a late hit on the Roscommon player. Michael Duffy was right there. Jarlath McDonough, is it? The corner forward, yeah, who is being spoken to. And that's a black card. So Mayo down to 14.
And that is the rule. It's not applied by all referees, but if you check a man after he gives a ball and is trying to continue on his run, it's a black card, and that's a right call.
Now, is this one within range for Ronan Cox?
I would have thought not, but he has that breeze behind him, and from what we've seen, his striking of the ball, perhaps it is.
He might just steal a yard or two as well, just to nudge a little bit closer. But Ronan Cox here looking to level it up for Roscommon. I don't think this one will have the distance, will it? Just underneath the crossbar, is it in? It's been saved on the line. Mayo emerge with possession. Well, all it needed was a fist to push it across the line. No one could get it from a Roscommon point of view. Good effort from the free.
It looked like Anthony McDermott, the fullback, was there to get a touch on it, but brilliantly stopped.
Now Mayo need to try and get out. Roscommon have pressed right up, but that's a fine foot pass from Mayo to open things up. John Riley now has got it along this right-hand touchline. His hand pass is cut out. Roscommon have it back again. Can the Rossies find a leveller? 2 minutes past the 30. Dermot Foley has had a brilliant match. Is there a way through here for Roscommon? They're going to take it on. Oh, it's an ambitious effort. It's going to drop dangerously in there again. Is there a goal? Cox has got it in on the goal mouth. Cox still has it. Referee allows play continue. Mayo get bodies back in around the ball, and it's a 45. It's a 45.
Oh, that was when you see a ball going in and around like that, there was mayhem inside, and it seemed to be Ronan. Was it Ronan Cox came onto it? He just didn't have room to swing a leg at it.
Credit to the Mayo defenders, didn't commit the foul. Prevented him getting a shot away as well. Well, late drama in the plate final. It's going right down to the wire, and they've brought in John McHale to try and kick this one. So with that little bit of a draft of a breeze behind him, can McHale level things up for Roscommon? Mayo have defended brilliantly here in the last few moments.
It's amazing what pressure does with that bit of a wind. If this was, 5 or 10 minutes into the second half, you'd fancy him, but it's all that more important now to see can he get the equaliser.
The result virtually riding on this kick. He struck it well, but it's going to be just off target. Certainly had the distance, and that is that. And Mayo have done it. they've beaten Roscommon by a single point. Mayo won 11, Roscommon 13 points. Mayo are the plate champions for 2023. They timed their run to perfection. That goal just after half-time, pushing them in front. And, well, down the closing straight, they got a couple of key scores. Paddy Hopkins with the point from the free to win it. And Mayo take the silverware.
Mayo take the silverware, and in fairness to them, they stuck at it and stuck at it. That goal at the start of the second half, vitally important to get them back into the game, you know, after Roscommon were perhaps the better side in the first half. But Roscommon, they look at that and say they had enough of chances, they had enough possession to win that game, but they didn't take all those chances, good and all as they were inside at times. When it came down the straight, Mayo were that bit more assured. We had Sean Lenihan there at number 8, really came into the game very well, and Paddy Hopkins and both halves, a hugely important player for Mayo in getting those vital scores.
We expected it to be a tight game, didn't we, Con? And it certainly turned out that way, but Roscommon probably having led all the way through, they'll be disappointed.
Yeah, they will be disappointed, and you know, at times they look very, very good, but they've lost their way somewhere in the middle of that second half there. You know, the scores that they were kicking, and some brilliant scores, that didn't materialise. The handling let them down a little bit, little, you know, fumble balls here and there. But again, you have to credit Mayo. They started the game. They figured out what was going on. They got their defensive system right, and they found a way to get the scores. In the second half, there at times you were wondering where Mayo were going to get the scores to tighten back that gap when they went a couple of points down again. But they managed to do so. And again, going back to last year to lose a tight game by a point against Cavan, a lot of the same personnel involved. I'm sure at half time they were saying, you know, the rallying call would have been, it's not going to happen again, and they find themselves coming out the right side of the same margin this time.
Yeah, they do, and the importance of a squad, we referenced the big squads that both teams had, but Mayo lost Miles Fallon after less than a minute. They lost Eddie Conroy as well in the early stages, but they had players to come in to really fill those gaps.
And when it works, you'd say, you know, that you could see them here, they were much more active in bringing on the subs. They maybe had a stronger bench, and they were bringing guys in for 10 minutes here and there, and you could see at the end they had that little bit of a freshness about them. When they had to get guys back, they were able to get back. The likes of Dermot Foley for Roscommon, like he left absolutely everything out there. Tough on the captain out there, who would have been one of the guys in running for a man of the match. But overall, you have to credit Mayo when they come through. Eddie is looking happy out there after coming.
I have the Mayo vice captain with me here, Eddie Conroy. Eddie, first of all, how's the injury? It's a shoulder, is it?
It's a shoulder, yeah. Just kind of went down in the wrong way, and I think it's gone out. I don't know what's gone with it yet. But look, these things happen in games. For my last game that I was ever going to play, I never had an injury like it before. So for my last game to get it like this, it's tough, like.
With the result like that, you might give it another go.
No. That's it now. Like, that's me finished now with playing. So it was nice to win, nice go to the high anyways. That's the main thing.
But, you know, we're talking about the games here today all day. The standard, the hunger from the 4 teams involved today and the want to win. Yeah,
it's massive. Like, you know, when you put on your jersey for your county, it doesn't matter what level it is, you have a bit of pride. And, you know, the football, like everybody says, it's masters and they might laugh at you, but the quality of football is still there. Like, you have lads still playing club football at senior level, junior level and intermediate. So the quality, the fitness and everything is there. Like, it's not, how can I say, it's not bad football, it's actually good football. Like, and everybody who's in the 40 range should look to get involved, like, because it is quality. The good football is good in it now, in all fairness.
You've enjoyed it, obviously.
I enjoyed it. Like, I'm 48 and since I turned 40, it was something to look to, you know, kind of way. And when I've stopped playing for Brafey, you had this bit of freedom then to come back and play it, like. So I encourage everybody to do it, like. It's good crack, like.
And look, the standard of scores there from both teams during that game.
It's savage. Like, you know, there's really good footballers out there. And to get a chance to come and play in an All-Ireland final, doesn't matter what grade it is, an All-Ireland final, it's enjoyable. You know, and to get scores, and it shows people that age is only a number, because you can still do it, like. You know, it's great. Yeah. It's mighty.
You've done the recruitment drive, definitely, Eddie. Who's this young lady we've with us here?
This is Ella.
Ella, you're delighted as well, are you?
Yeah, happy.
She's gone all shy. I'd say she's
shy. She's like her mother. She's shy.
and we've another bit of the contingent here.
Lily, my oldest one.
And you're delighted, Lily, are you? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, listen, the Conroy family are delighted with it. Eddie, we might tempt you back for another year.
Definitely not. I think I'm done now. Thanks.
You go for the presentation. Eddie Conroy, the Mayo vice captain. We'll get someone from Roscommon in a couple of minutes, Cahill, but we'll go back to you for the moment.
Okay, Angelina, thank you very much indeed, and good to hear from Eddie, and that his shoulder isn't too bad, and well done to him on a fine innings for club and county over the years, and a nice way, as he says, for him to finish off with a bit of silverware with Mayo on the plate today. Con, in terms of a player of the match, a man of the match from today's game, plenty of contenders from both teams. teams.
Yeah, plenty of hands. Now, Eddie's saying that he's retiring. I know lots of lads that retire every year. Eddie, I think, could fall into that category. Come next January or February, I wouldn't be surprised to see him dusting off the boots again when he gets the shoulder sorted. But a great servant to Mayo Masters over the years, a real battler, real warrior, and it is fitting, if it is to be his last game, that he leaves with a medal. But we're talking here about the man of the match. Really difficult throughout because of the way the momentum swung over and back. You had for Roscommon, you had Terence Hines and Ronan Cox putting their hand up in the first half in particular. As it went on, then Paddy. We had there for Mayo, the standout player Paddy Hopkins got some really good scores throughout, but. The whole way through the game, the one guy that played well the whole way through consistently, unfortunately for him and for Roscommon, he ended up on the Mayo side. But we looked at Dermot Foley, the captain of Roscommon. He had a powerhouse of a game in the middle of the field, got an absolutely fantastic score when needed. Just left everything out there. It couldn't be faulted in any way for coming out on the wrong side of it. But you could see there as well when Eddie was talking to have his daughters there with him. That's what it is, a family occasion. When you look out on the pitch here, that's what you see. Husbands and wives and young kids, and it's great for these young kids to see their dad in a county jersey. Because for a lot of them, and even guys who did play county, the kids aren't going to remember that. They don't care about scrapbooks or photographs or anything like that. And again, for a lot of the kids, they don't mind if it's over 40 or it's senior inter-county. They get great pride and a great kick out of seeing their dad doing that.
Okay, Con, thanks for the moment. So let's go back to Angelina out on the pitch.
Okay, I'm here with Roscommon's Declan Woods. Declan, I know that's hugely disappointing. It was such a close game and it literally could have gone any way, right down to the wire.
Typical Mayo. Look, it's down to the wire. Competitive, tough, hard. But look, they're in the game down to the last. We were in the game down to the last few minutes. It could have gone anyway. Look, a draw would be a fair result probably. But look, that's football. It's sport. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, but a huge effort from those lads. And I mean, we were talking at half-time with Kevin Egan and Brian Carroll about the quality of scores, especially from the Roscommon side of things. I mean, there's lads out there that I'd say have their pitch for the Roscommon seniors.
Absolutely. It's all great players, experienced players as well. And look at they were shooting there. Some were going over. Fantastic finishers. Just probably didn't get the ball into them enough. And fair to Mayo, they packed the defence. And they minimise us from scoring, and that's the way football is, Yeah.
Look, we've spoken to everyone today, Declan, about the advertisement today was for Masters football, and I know you're a huge believer in Masters football for a long number of years. This was a great advertisement. I know a tough day for you right now, but a great advertisement for it.
When we started off going back some years ago, this was all about. It's getting all the counties involved. I think there's 26 counties that are now involved. Getting everybody involved, parents, kids, everybody else, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. So it's a success, without a shadow of a doubt. And plus the fact that GEA has got on board, which is fantastic, and they're freeing up all the pitches. When we started off first, we found it hard to get pitches. Community parks were using, but now we're back to the pitches, which is fantastic. And look, at long may it last. We're all involved in clubs, and we're all active in our clubs, and we're all playing junior football. So why not? It's over for us, and that's it.
Absolutely. Well, Declan, listen, thanks a million for coming to talk to us. Hard luck today. Declan Woods there from the Roscommon side of things, and we'll hand it back to Cahill in the commentary position.
Yeah, thank you, Angelina, and great to get reaction from both camps already after the conclusion of this plate final. If you're just joining us, Mayo winning by 111 to Roscommon's 13 points, a goal shortly after half-time, putting Mayo in a decent position, but they still had to finish very strongly after Roscommon took a 2-point lead late in that second half, but Mayo winning out by a single point in the end, 111 to 13 points. And as mentioned earlier on today in the Challenge Cup final, Cavan beating Sligo by a point as well. It finished Cavan 14 points, Sligo a goal and 10, and another smashing match, which was a great advertisement for Masters football. And as Con mentioned there, the scenes currently out on the field at St. Crone's here with all the family and friends of the respective players getting involved, and that's what it's all about on what has been a great afternoon here in County Roscommon. And our thanks to the St. Crone's Club with their wonderful hospitality all throughout the afternoon. And don't forget that next weekend we have more live action for you from County Roscommon. In fact, again down the road at St. Bridget's in Kiltoom, we'll have the Masters Spirit Cup final. That's between Armagh and Limerick, 2 o'clock next Saturday afternoon for that one, and then the big one at 4 o'clock next Saturday at St. Bridget's as well, Kerry against Tyrone in the All-Ireland Masters final for 2023. That's a 4 o'clock throw-in next Saturday, and we'll have that one live for you as well on our live stream as well. And then one final match to come the following week, Derry against London in the Masters Shield final, and that game takes place at the St Peregrine's J Club in Dublin. We'll throw in at 2 o'clock on September the 23rd. So the players still out there on the field, just talking to the different people. Lots of supporters came into the ground here today as well, which is very encouraging to see. But the Mayo players now are starting to make their way across to the far side of the field for the presentation for the plate final here, before the conclusion of the afternoon's activities at the St Crone's J Club. And the Roscommon players making their way over as well. But Mayo performing well. They had 5 points from Paddy Hopkins, Sean Lenihan as well, with 2 crucial scores in the second half. Jarlath McDonough also kicked a couple of points. John Riley had a big hand in the goal that was bundled over the line. And that was a big score for Mayo to help them to victory by 111 to 13 points. Special mention too for Ronan Cox of Roscommon, who scored 7 points from full forward. And Dermot Foley, with a real captain's performance at midfield, kicked a great score in the first half as well. Terence Kelly kicked 2 points for the Rossies too. But in the end, the home team just coming up short in a cracking game in the plate final. So we'll bring you the presentation shortly before we wrap up our coverage for the evening. And the Mayo players now over there just ready to receive the cup in the next couple of minutes. There is the plate in question that will be presented to Mayo for the Masters plate final of 2023. Nice to see plenty of young supporters inside the ground here today as well. No doubt plenty future county stars amongst them. So we're going to have the presentation now very shortly indeed. They're just getting things ready on the far side. I think we can join the presentation.
Yeah, just turned it over from Kilmore. It was a fantastic game. Eddie Conroy is looking at me here. He was sour he didn't get the one last year, and he's wondering how a Roscommon man gets it when they won the play. But I think we'd all agree that's a great game. Dermot Foley the whole way through had a fantastic game, and Roscommon captain. But it was a great game to watch. Very full-hearted, and you can see both finals today are fighting them.
Turn the foot around so I can see the front of them. That's it. Straight here, straight here, straight here. One more time. Thank you.
Hold on. Just to harp on the Roscommon Masters, I'd like to congratulate Mayo. A great game of football, absolutely nothing in it that has been in the past too. So look, a very good game, evenly bunched, and you just got us in the end. But wish you the very best of luck. St Crone's for their pitch here is absolutely superb, and it's the only way you can describe it. Great conditions and everything very well laid out. Our referee and our officials, thank you very much, and all our supporters, fair play to you and best of luck. Thank you. Just before we make the presentation of the plate, again I'd like to thank St Crone's J Club for their use of their facilities today, the fabulous facilities you have. I'd also like to thank all the volunteers from St Crone's and the stewards who are here today to assist us in running the day. Now, on behalf of the Gaelic Masters, I'd like our Loftus, daughter of our late President Dr. Mick Loftus, to present the plate trophy to the winning Mayo captain. Can I get the Mayo winning captain, please?
Okay, lads, over here. Just one more time, straight out here.
Hello.
Thank you.
Okay, here guys. Orla. Orla.
Thank you very much, and delighted to be here, especially, the year that's in it. We said goodbye to Dad, and he'd be so proud of you all, honest to God. and it was a really wonderful game. You had us all on the edge of our seats right up to the end. So, our commiserations to Roscommon. But you know what? I think it's fitting that you took the time for this field. So congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
We'll just get the Mayo captain, Brian Henley, to say a few words. Look at, I won't say too much now. Look at, delighted to accept the plate here on behalf of the Mayo Masters players. Great win. Commiserations to Roscommon. Great battle. Right to the end there. We didn't expect anything less. So, round of applause for Roscommon there. Look at, just, I suppose I'm going to thank a number of people here. First of all, I'd like to thank, big thank you, Pat McCrone. Look at the start of the year. Look at nobody take us. But, you know, the fair Pat put in huge amount of work, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes, and fair play to you, Pat. Well, ably assisted there, you know, at the start of the year there, train session John Riley, and on match there, great Tony Byrne as well. You know, fair play to you. You know, we wouldn't be here without you, okay? So thanks a million. I'd also like to thank our sponsors there, Hastings Insurance there, and the Club Bay Hotel. Again, putting money into the Mayo Masters. So look at the fair play to you. Thanks a million for your support. Also, I know it's been mentioned, but I just want to say it as well, like, thanks to Crones and Crones there, GA. They look at the grounds as superb, great facilities, and fair play to you. Thanks a million. Look at, I also want to thank all the lad families. A lot of you are here today. You allow us to continue on talking out. That's 40 plus, and look at, thanks a million, and look at, thanks. And finally, lads, just the Mayo Masters panel in general. Look at, thanks a lot. Put a huge effort. We didn't have a great start, but we grouped together and we finished strongly. So, look at, fair play to you all. Look at, let's enjoy tonight, and that's it. Over and out. Thanks.
What do you want to open now? Brendan?
So that's Brian Henley, the Mayo captain, accepting the Masters Play title for 2023 after Mayo's 1-point win over Roscommon in a cracking final here at St. Crone's J Club. And that rounds off our broadcast for the afternoon. Our thanks to all of you at home for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the afternoon's coverage. Our thanks to Brendan, Angeline and all the team here as well on the technical side of things for bringing you today's broadcast. And don't forget, next Saturday afternoon we're live from St. Bridget's in Kiltoom for Armagh against Limerick in the Masters Spirit Cup final, and for Kerry against Tyrone in the Masters final for 2023. Our coverage will be just underway from just before 2 o'clock next Saturday afternoon. But for now, from all of us here at St. Crone's J Club in County Roscommon, enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening.
It takes a team, it takes discipline, it takes focus, targets, leadership. The difference is there's no final whistle with MFC.
Words like service, customer centred, focus, quality, garments. Why we do what we do, why we exist. That's the big one.